Welcome back to Mystique Recaps. Today, I will talk about an action fantasy horror film from 2005, titled Constantine. Without further ado, let's get started. The movie begins in Mexico with a scavenger finding a spear in an abandoned place. After holding the knife, he turns insane and gets smashed by a car, but doesn't get injured. The movie then switches to Los Angeles, where a family is experiencing paranormal activity in their house. To help the possessed girl, Father Hennessy calls an exorcist and demonologist, John Constantine, who arrives immediately, with his sidekick Chaz. John is either blessed or cursed, with the ability to see angels and demons, wandering the earth as people, what John calls half-breeds. According to John's belief, demons and angels can whisper in a human ear, and induce an impulse to do something, but they are not allowed to get into a body. When a demon breaks the rule of possessing a body, John does his job and sends them to hell, where they belong. While trying to get the soldier demon out of the girl, John is stunned to see the devil trying to break through the glass. After treating the girl, John encounters Father Hennessy and instructs him to investigate more about the paranormal activity closely, without wearing a charm necklace. In utter confusion, he heads his way to Beeman to discuss what he has just seen. When John tells him about a demon trying to get into this world, Beeman responds that humans can be finger puppets to the evils, but not doorways. John still wants Beeman to investigate the reason behind this unusual event. On the other hand, a woman named Isabel is shown going to church and confessing about killing people she doesn't even know. She has been acting strange lately, but she doesn't know why. Even after being admitted to the hospital, Isabel doesn't feel right, revealing that something dangerous is happening that everyone is unaware of. One night, Isabel dashes to the hospital roof, removes the bracelet from her marked wrist, and jumps from the building, resulting in her demise. Isabel's twin sister, an LAPD detective, Angela Dodson, is sure there is no way Isabel can kill herself, but the security cameras clearly show a suicide attempt. Meanwhile, John is diagnosed with lung cancer due to his smoking habit. Afraid of his impending death, John heads his way to meet half-angel breed, Gabriel, where we learn that John is trying to make his way to heaven. It turns out that John once attempted suicide, but after experiencing 2 minutes in hell, he was alive again. Since then, he has been sending demons back to hell, only to earn his way back into God's good graces. However, Gabriel thinks that John has been doing everything only for himself, and that what God requires is a sacrifice purely selfless. Infuriated by the endless rules and regulations, John leaves the church, where he sees Angela waiting for a cab. Angela was here to talk to Father about sister's funeral like ordinary people, because she is assured that Isabel has not attempted suicide. When Angela returns home, Isabel's spirit shows her a name, Constantine, who can assist Angela in unfolding the myth. Unaware of the person, Angela writes it down quickly on her notepad. On the other hand, John is weakening, allowing the demons to attack him. Seeing the impending danger, he rushes to meet Midnight, who swore to keep a balance between the demons and the angels. When John tells him about monsters trying to invade this place, Midnight doesn't believe him. A half-breed Balthazar, who is constantly keeping an eye on John, approaches and tries to mock him, but they are immediately stopped by Midnight, who doesn't want trouble in his club. Being an LAPD, Angela somehow manages to get John Constantine's address, where she tells him about Isabel's suicide. She thinks a cult might have brainwashed her sister into stepping off the roof. When John tells Angela that Isabel was unable to overcome a demonic influence, Angela gets infuriated, until she sees a bunch of demons approaching her. To see if Isabel was murdered or attempted suicide, John uses his skills to get into hell, where he finds gloomy Isabel, surrounded by demons. As proof, John shows Isabel's hospital bracelet to Angela, which reveals that Isabel actually did kill herself. Saddened about her sister's damnation, Angela joins John for a meal, and learns that John once tried to take his life, to get rid of his curse of seeing entities that no one wishes to see. While John and Angela talk, we see Father Hennessy in the hospital morgue, grabbing Isabel's arm as if he is transferring a demon inside her. Hennessy, who has been acting weird for a while, sprints towards a grocery store, and experiences seizures that compel him to stab his hand, resulting in his demise. It seems like half-breed Balthazar is behind this tragic incident, as he carelessly watches Hennessy dying. When John joins Angela in the case, he learns about Hennessy's death, and that he has impregnated a mark on his hand before dying. After sharing the information with Beeman, John heads his way to where Isabel killed herself. While searching for a clue, Angela unfolds how Isabel often used Ouija boards, and did seances, making her a powerful psychic over time. It turns out that, before jumping off the roof, Isabel left a message on the window, with the technique she often uses with her sister. After using her breath, Angela sees a word that compels the team to read the 17th act in Corinthians. While telling John about a mark on Hennessy's hand, Beeman explains how the devil's son, Mammon, has the same sign. It is revealed that Mammon has no patience for his father's rule and yearns to forge his own kingdom of fire and blood. For this, he has to possess a very powerful psychic, which he did, but that's not enough. To cross over, he would need divine assistance, the help of God. While informing John about the act, Beeman gets attacked by a colony of bees, which stings him to death. Before John could save his life, he was gone. Later, Angela tells John how she used to see entities like him and Isabel, until she denied it when asked by her parents. Isabel was right, but no one believed her, and put her on antipsychotics. Now, Angela holds herself responsible for Isabel's death, because she is the one who never stands by her sister when needed. To make things right, and to kill the murderers of her sister, Angela gets her power back in a ritual. After getting her skills back, Angela helps John find the person behind his friend's death. She finds a coin that John used to see in Balthazar's hand, as he plays with it. While Angela waits in the car, John heads his way upstairs to confront Balthazar. Using holy water and a crucifix gun, John is able to make Balthazar spit out how Mammon is crossing over into this world. It turns out that Mammon will retrieve the spear used to kill the Son of God, and will use the blood to get into this place. When John takes too long to return, Angela follows him to the room, where Balthazar reveals that bringing Angela was his only mission. After shooting at the demon, John leaves the room with Angela, and tells her the actual cause of Jesus' death. According to Catholics, Jesus didn't die from being nailed to the cross, but with a soldier's spear. It shows that the scavenger, who pulled out a knife in the first scene, was sent by Mammon, so he could achieve what he wanted. On the other hand, Mammon approaches Balthazar, and sends him back to hell, instead of giving him resurrection, because he has told John everything about the plan. Suddenly, Angela, who is now the best psychic after Isabel, is grabbed by Mammon, who takes her away from the building. With no choice left, John forcefully enters the pub, and asks Midnight to let him use the chair, an old electric chair from Sing Sing prison, that had killed over 200 people. It gives Constantine visions that reveal the spear found by the scavenger has already arrived at the hospital, where Isabel died. John and Chaz travel to the hospital, and use holy water in the fire alarm to deport Mammon's zealots back to hell. Mammon manages to get into Angela's body, and for complete entry into this world, all he needs is spear's blood. When John is unable to save Angela, he calls Gabriel for help, but it seems like she wants to let Mammon into this world. Gabriel dislikes how easily God forgives people, and shows favor to them. She thinks that by sending hell to earth, people would be able to repent, and have faith in order to earn God's favor. After throwing John out of the room, Gabriel begins to free Mammon from Angela's abdomen. Meanwhile, John cuts his wrist, causing time to halt. As Lucifer despises John for deporting demons back to hell, he shows up personally to collect his soul. When John informs Lucifer about Mammon's plot, Lucifer sends Mammon back to hell to prevent him from establishing himself as the ruler of earth before him. Gabriel tries to strike Lucifer, but is unsuccessful since Lucifer lacks the holy might to do it. John is due a favor in recompense for aiding Lucifer, but instead of requesting an extension and being brought back to life, he demands that Isabel be allowed to enter heaven. Lucifer gladly agrees, but heaven appears in front of him as he starts to pull John to hell. As John has made a sacrifice of thinking for someone else before his needs, he is forgiven for his sin and granted heaven. Afraid and angry about losing his biggest enemy, Lucifer cures John's illness, so he can show one day that he genuinely belongs in hell. The movie ends with John handing the spear to Angela to hide it where no one can ever find it. John has learned the lesson of life, and now by considering it more worth living, he has switched cigarettes with gum. If you have already watched this movie, share your reviews with us in the comments below. Before you go, make sure to like this video and subscribe.